Hello everyone. Today I'd like to share with you a very special story about my first love. It all happened many years ago when I was just 16 years old. He had a way about him that made him stand out. When he entered the classroom, he was always smiling. And even though he was very young, maybe in his early 20s, he had this charm about him that immediately put us at ease. My school was quite big, but I always felt a bit lonely. I had a few close friends, but I never really fit in with any of the popular groups. Most of the time I kept to myself. But everything changed when a new teacher arrived at our school. His name was Mr. Williams, and he taught literature. I couldn't help but stare at him during class, even though I tried my best not to. I've seen the way some of the other girls look at him. He's pretty popular with the ladies. He had this habit of running his fingers through his hair, and every time he did, my heart skipped a beat. If it doesn't work out with Mr. Williams, there are other teachers at the school who are just as good looking. Why did he have to be so popular? I couldn't understand why I felt this way about him. I had never felt this before. And to be honest, it scared me a little. I thought about him constantly. All I could think about was him. He was standing by his car in the teacher's parking lot. I stopped and stared at him. He looked so handsome. I couldn't help myself. I walked over and introduced myself. We would meet at his apartment and spend the night talking, laughing, and making love. I knew that what we were doing was wrong, but I was too in love with him to care. When I was supposed to be studying, all I could see was his face. He said that he couldn't continue seeing me because I was his student. After he broke up with me, I couldn't continue going to his class. I'm now a grown woman with a family of my own, but I still think about Mr. Williams from time to time. I wonder what happened to him. I wonder if he ever thought about me. They said that he had taken advantage of me and that I should have told them what was going on. But I was ashamed and I didn't know how to tell them. I couldn't bear to see him with another woman. So I asked my parents to let me transfer to another school. And at the time, it felt right. I made new friends and I focused on my studies. But I could never forget Mr. Williams. Every time I saw him in town, I felt a pang of sadness. Some names and identifying details have been changed to protect the privacy of those involved. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like it and share it with your friends. You can also follow me for more content. Thank you for watching and I will see you next time. I knew that he would never love me the way that I loved him. He said that it wouldn't be right for him to have a romantic relationship with one of his students. I was heartbroken. I couldn't believe that he would break up with me. I thought that he loved me. When I was hanging out with my friends, all I wanted to do was talk about him. I couldn't focus on anything else. The moment I saw him, I knew he was different from the other teachers. I think I might be in love with my teacher, I whispered to her. He talked to me for a few minutes, and then he invited me to his office to get to know me better. He wanted to hear about my interests and hobbies, and he gave me advice on how to improve my grades. From the very first lesson, I could tell that he loved what he did. But I'm not ashamed of my love story. I'm proud of it. It made me who I am today. He was so passionate about literature. He would always tell us how important it was to read and never stop learning. But as the weeks went by, things started to change. I was so happy. At the same time, I was scared. I knew that we shouldn't be together. He was my teacher, and I was just a student. But I couldn't help how I felt. We began spending more and more time together both inside and outside of school. He started driving me home from school, and we would often stop for coffee or ice cream. We would talk for hours about everything and nothing. I felt like I was falling in love with him. He would often use stories, and examples from his own life to illustrate his points. And he always made us feel like our opinions mattered. She was silent for a moment, and I could see that she was thinking hard. "Are you sure?" she finally asked. "You've only known him for a few weeks, and he would always encourage us to think outside the box. Don't be afraid to make mistakes," he would say. That's how we learn and grew. He believed that every one of us had a story to tell and that we should never give up on our dreams. His lessons were unlike any other teachers I'd ever had. They were fun and engaging. There was something about his smile that made me feel butterflies in my stomach. One day I decided to talk to my best friend about it. She was the only person I could think of talking to about this situation. She didn't respond right away. "I know," I replied, "but I can't stop thinking about him. I can't even look at him without getting nervous." "Well, you're not the only one," my friend said with a mischievous grin. "Really?" I asked. "Oh, I didn't know." I felt a surge of jealousy. "Well, don't worry," my friend said, putting her arm around my shoulder. "There's plenty of fish in the sea." Her words made me feel a little better, but I still couldn't get Mr. Williams off my mind. And then one day, while I was walking home from school, I saw him. He was very kind. At first, our relationship was strictly platonic. I was just a student and he was my teacher. And one day, he told me that he felt the same way about me. We started seeing each other in secret. Then one day, he broke up with me. But he didn't. He was just having an affair with me. When they heard that I was in a relationship with my teacher, they were furious. At my new school, I tried to start over. Many years have passed since then. I know that some people will say that what he did was wrong. And yes, he did take advantage of me. But I was in love with him. Some people might also say that I'm crazy. Maybe I am. This is a true story based on real events that took place many years ago.